Quite a windy, dewy, cloudy morning up here. It's actually kind of cool. You can't see literally anything behind me, which is pretty cool. I was gonna go up a little bit higher on the mountain, but I have work in like an hour, so I didn't want to make that huge drive and then be late for work. But what I wanted to talk about today is being cautious of how you shape your personality and what you let influence how you act and what you act like. A whole motorcycle crew. Really wanted to get at was I think an issue that I've struggled with, and I think a big part of like my generation struggles with, will continue to struggle with, or has struggled with, is like shaping your personality to fit societal norms, or shaping your personality to fit into a certain group or to a certain population, or a certain group on social media, or just anything like that. I found myself falling victim to that recently. Just trying to like have people perceive me in a way that is accepted, but the way that I'm being perceived is not who I want to be, and I'm not portraying who I want to be as a person. And I think a lot of people do that. They do things, they copy ways that people are being that are accepted, so they can also be accepted. But then at the heart and in the internal, you're not being who you are truly being. And it just, after a while, it doesn't feel right. We all have a sense of like wanting to belong or feel wanted. And I think that's a great thing, but only in the context that you can be truly yourself and be accepted. I think that's an issue with my generation specifically that hasn't been prevalent in generations before. Is I feel like before, a lot of people just kind of were themselves, and then they ended up finding their group through that by being themselves. You know, I feel like being a nerd about something and being really committed and really interested in something, after a while you will begin to find your people. And I think that people my age and people around my age want to fit in so much that they will like alter their personality to fit in. And I've done that. I'm sure every kid my age has done that to some certain extent, but I'm coming to realize that that's super unhealthy. Kind of the difference of external motivation and internal motivation. So you can kind of use this as like I'm going to use a gym analogy, right? So being internally motivated means you do things like you exercise because you enjoy the process. External motivation is you're doing stuff for an external reward, whether it be recognition, a trophy, this or that. You get the gist. And shaping your personality into something that isn't truly yourself is kind of like being externally motivated, which I'm not saying being externally motivated is a bad thing per se, but I'm just saying that in the context that if you shape yourself into something that you are not internally, and that's how you're perceived, and you're also, okay, how can I say this? Okay, if you shape your personality around something that isn't really you, that is not going to last for your life in the long term. Same thing with external motivators. Once you achieve X amount of money or you lose X amount of weight, what's going to motivate you at that point? How are you going to be yourself if that thing that you're copying and that you're replicating to be yourself, what if that goes away? Then who are you? It comes right back to square one at who you are internally. And if you don't know who you are internally because you've spent so much time and you've rewired your brain and chemically, physically, and everything to identify with these things, and you haven't really found yourself, then what are you going to do? You're back to square one. You started with a clean canvas. You are, because you have been acting in a way that isn't you, and you've been copying maybe people around you or something like that. Once that wears off, it's like, who am I? What am I? What's my purpose? And like, I think, in all honesty, I think the main driver of people, copying other people around them to fit in and like matching their personality to people that fit in, is that when you're young, you're trying to find your purpose, and you're trying to find, who am I? What is my purpose? What do I want to do with my life? This and this and that. And then when you copy, or when you try and replicate someone else's personality that's already being accepted, that makes you feel accepted as well into a group, into whatever, and then you feel accepted. So you're like, I kind of want to be like this, but like, that's not you, unless that. And in the rare case that you have like trying to be like someone else, or copy someone else's actions, or fit into societal norms, and you do feel like that is who you are at the core, I guess that's different. But like, you have to have lasting effect, and to have lasting, I guess, like happiness and being able to be your true self, you have to find what internally motivates you. What internal morals do you have? And that's another thing, is like, if you copy someone else's personality that's being accepted, some of the things that they believe in morally, you may not even believe in. But just because they are accepted, and because they are this and that, higher up or whatever, you will copy them just to fit in. And that's just like crazy, because like, why would you want to have one life? You get one chance, and then you take someone else's blueprint, or you copy someone else's jokes, or you copy someone else's personality, or ways that they think and ways that they believe, and you don't like create your own self. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Imagine you were given, like, you had like a pre-lobby to life, and you're loaded into the game of life. And then they're like, yeah, you get this life, but you're going to spend most of it trying to be like blank. And you're going to be trying to, not that having like motivators is one thing, but you're going to copy exactly what they do, even if you don't really believe in it, or even if you don't really think it's right. You're going to try and be like someone else. Wouldn't you be like, why? Like, why shouldn't I just build my own self? Because you only get one life. You know what I mean? Why would you spend your life, or why would you spend, maybe not your life, but maybe like your younger years? Because like, when you're young, you have so many avenues. I've come to realize, it's like, I mean, I know for everybody it's different how many avenues you have, but like, when you're young, you really have all the avenues to pick what you're interested in and what you want to do. That's why it's so cool to be able to build that's why it's such a point, you need to make it a point to build your personality based on what you value and what you think is cool, not what will fit you in and what will make you liked and what will make you this or that. Because 99% of the people, like, if you have like a really niche thing that you like, or you whatever, 95% of the people around you are probably going to think it's dumb, or they're not going to think it's interesting, or they're not going to find it as interesting as you do. And you've got to become okay with that. I think people a lot of the times will just like everything that is accepted by people around them, social media and society, just so they're not going against the grain, or they're not going against what's common. And because usually what is going against the grain and going against what is accepted is looked like frowned upon. And I think that's stupid. I think that everybody in life has something special to offer. And I think when you have so many duplicate personalities in the world that are just copying and pasting the people before them, and like trying to be like blank or trying to be like this, it just takes away from the specialty of life, which is like diversity and different values and different people. And like, everybody's got their own genetic makeup and ways they believe. And like, I don't know, it's just, I think that my generation, and I mean, honestly, social media is probably taking a toll on all generations at this point, old, young, middle-aged, everything. And it's just a big issue, I think, is just the copy and paste personality of other people when you don't even have values yourself. And it's like, I know some people, I guess like younger guys or girls, people could be like, well, I don't really know what I'm interested in. Perfect. Go find something. Don't just accept what is interesting to society and make that what you think is interesting. Go find what you like. I found bodybuilding and like the psychological thinking of life. Those two things I'm nerded out about, and I'm really interested in, and like this fitness, I guess fitness in general, and just stuff like that. And I'm super disciplined and committed to it, and like that's something I'm really interested in. And in the city I'm in, that's not really that common. I live in Arkansas. Southern Arkansas at that, and it's not really that common to be interested in health. Okay, so what I, how dumb it'd be to me of, how dumb it would be of me to just be like, well, it's not that like people around here don't find that interesting, so I'm just not gonna pursue that. I'm just not gonna be that. You know how dumb that sounds? Like, I don't know. Like, whatever you find that clicks with you adds to the specialty of you as a person, and it adds to your aura, you could say. It adds to your whatever, and that makes you special. Whenever you just copy and paste other personalities, you're limiting yourself to what you can be as a person. And I see that so much with like people on social media. Like, if you look through social media comments and reels and pages, there are so many just copy and paste people. And I'm not saying that like all that's bad, but I find it weird that there's so many just copy and paste jokes. Everybody, it's like everybody on a certain side of Instagram is just like on one big wavelength, and none of them have any like characteristics or like goals. It's weird. It's like maybe I'm just misjudging it. Maybe I'm just looking at the wrong people, the wrong things, etc. But it's like I feel like there's just so many copy and paste things nowadays, and I think you really need to just look inside and see what interests you, and don't try and fit in. I'm not saying to be super out of the extraordinary and try and stand out and be super extra ha-ha, because I feel like people get that mixed up too, is that could be like an attention thing. But just find what interests you, and find what like you want to wake up and research or look up things and go to conventions about, and just stuff like that. And you'll eventually find the people that you can fit in with. And then when you find those people, they will enhance your life. They will do this, they will do that, and you won't just be fitting in with people just to fit in. I feel like wanting to fit in is kind of boring, Like, why would you fit in just to be like everybody around you? It's like a bunch of clones. Find what interests you and find what you can stand out and be like. Find what makes you special, because I think everybody, you watching this, everybody in the world, as maybe you may not agree with everything that everyone thinks, but you have to admit that everybody has something they add to the world. I have this hard time thinking like that a lot. Like I'm gonna be completely transparent. In the past I've been pretty fat phobic. I was fat myself, so it's like I think when I see people like that, I'm working on it. I would see negative and be like, what the fuck? Like, why is this person like whatever? But like, I've come to realize that like, as hard as it is to really believe that at your core, everybody has something special to offer. Whether 99% of the things that they say you don't agree with, there's probably something that they could add to your life that you're like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. And accepting that is cool. And then finding something that drives you and makes you special adds an element to your life that you could add to someone else's. If you're just copying everybody that's already around you and what they do, you're not adding anything special to your life that you could add to others. You're just going with the flow. You're nonchalant. You're just I'm just chilling. I'm just this. No, screw that. That's boring. You should find what interests you and what can make you special. Because like I said, you're special. I'm special. Those people that drove the motorcycles up the mountain are special. Everybody's got something to offer. And I don't know. I think I guess like the main driver of all this could be social media, you could say, or just society in general. But I think mainly social media is, don't let social media shape who you are. I've fallen victim of that. And it's kind of scary, because like, we spend so much time on our phones. We spend so much time out of real life and out of in touch with our internal self and how we feel. And that's why we turn to social media in the first place, mainly, is because or not mainly, but a main reason that some people tune into social media is that they want to suppress their internal feelings. They want to suppress how they feel about themselves. And then with the flick of a button, you get stimulated and you can forget about that, when the real solution is to look inside and figure it out and fix it, and why you feel like that. And I just think that, social media can be great in a lot of ways, but I think in the grand scheme of it, it's a net negative, and it just depends on how you use it. I think the more that you use social media, or maybe not the more you use social media, but the older you get, I think you could probably learn more ways to utilize it and not just like be harnessed to it. But I think my main point with this is just don't let social media and society form your personality, because through acting things that are accepted by social media and society, you begin to shape your personality. Action is doing, and doing over and over, doing something over and over will not chemically, it will rewire your brain into a personality, and that's who you are as a person. Do you really want to be a fake, made up personality, or do you want to be a genuine personality that is completely built off of things you are interested in and you like and you value and all that kind of stuff? Don't go with the grain. The grain's stupid. Be who you want to be. You know what I mean? In all aspects, Don't aim to fit in. Don't aim to, I don't think you should aim to, like I said, don't aim to be this extra extraordinary, everybody look at me person either. Just find what interests you and just go with that. I think being like that will separate you, and what will make you special in a world full of already special people is being yourself and finding what drives you. It is 9 o'clock. I got work at 10. I'm up on the mountain. I'm freezing, so I need to get in my truck, back in my truck, and warm up and stuff. But I hope that you can take something from this video. Maybe you've gone through, you're going through a phase of life that I was kind of going through, where like I shaped my person. And I think all young people are going through or have gone through that. And I think it may just take someone kind of realize, or telling you that you are in that moment. If you are, you may not be, but I know I was. So if you are, delete social media. Do it for a week. I'm not saying that deleting social media has changed my life, but it realized how unhappy it was making me internally. Like, even though I may have been telling myself it wasn't, my internal knew it was. And it may not be the same for you. It may be. Deleting social media may change your life. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I've had social media deleted for like 2 weeks now. It's kind of changed my life. Like, not everything, but I've been a lot happier. I've been a lot more just present and just caring about things that bring value to me. I'm still going to go and post every once in a while, but there are just values that I have found that mean more to me than just being on social media. Because, like, why would you want to spend so much of your one given life looking at a phone? Like, I don't know. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. But I'm freezing. I'm going to get back in my truck and warm up. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I love you guys. If you need anything, reach out. My phone number, you can reach out and get it. I'll give it to you. If you need anything, I love you guys. Have a great day.